Hello, my name is Larry D. Reid, as you can see down there. So this thing is still, I can see down there. And I'm the host of Larry Reid Live. It comes on every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If nothing happens, like my daddy say, if the Lord willing, I will be on tomorrow on the platform from the studio. Right now, I am in my room. I am not in the studio. Something hit my head. It's been on my heart, but I had a conversation with one of the LRLers who is white, and that conversation really put me in my head. And so, like normal, I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to talk it out. But I have a message for white people, and I also have a lesson for white people. And the reason why I'm having this conversation right now, I want you to click like and I want you to share. I need all black and white LRLers to be on this. And if you got some white friends and your black LRL, tag them in this and send this to them. Yeah. So meet me here every Monday night on The Real Show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Text Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222 to get notified. Thank each and every one of you for watching the show, for your shares, for your donations. Shout out to the patrons that back this platform and keep it strong. All right, let me get into the conversation. Now, I had a conversation with an LRL who is white. Nice lady. I talked to her before. And that conversation really put me back in some thoughts that I wanted to share last week, but I wanted to wait until Canon Hinnant funeral had happened. And his funeral has already happened. And so now I feel I can talk about it. For those of you that do not know, Canon Hinnant in Woodson, North Carolina, I actually come from that area in North Carolina. So I've heard all of the buzz concerning his death. A white little boy in his yard, black man comes up, shoot him execution style in the head, blow his brains out. Dead. Child is dead. It was horrendous. I made a post about it because it was so wicked to me. And we've been having deaths in the black community in Chicago and here in Atlanta and different places. And the whole idea of a child being killed or harmed in any way just freaks me out, being that I am a dad. So it's horrendous. But what I began to notice, and some of you may not have seen this because I don't know the other algorithms I've been played with, but I don't know if you've seen this or not. There has been so many shares of a hashtag justice for Cannon. Have anybody seen that? And it was really interesting. Thank you, Justin J. Horn. Some of you really take what I say to heart. I always say every time you see me come on and I'm entertaining you or informing you, this is a black-owned business. Every donation counts, and you just start doing donations. So thank you so much for that. It troubled me when I saw justice for Cannon. I didn't understand this. And I saw the justice for Cannon put everywhere. And I began to see, now I excuse all of my white associates. I'm not going to call them friends because some of them are, some of them are not. White associates, I excuse the ones that do not have degrees, aren't that smart, been in the same area all their life. I expect for you to just be a certain kind of way. But I've seen some very, what I thought to be smart white people just start this hashtag and just doing what everybody else is doing. And they're raising money for him. Almost $1 million have been raised. I think they're just like $200,000 short, has been raised. Justice for Cannon. I'm saying, what you mean justice for Cannon? I don't understand this. And these same white people, listen to me. This is the reason why I'm doing this video, because it's smart, educated, and some not so educated white people who I think just getting on the bandwagon because they see it and they don't understand what is happening. Thank you, Mary Thomas. Some people some white people are being taken advantage of right now. And really, I'm a black dude. In a perfect world, a white person would get online and tell his community this. But some of you guys have been taken advantage of and you don't even know it. You're getting on this bandwagon, Justin for Cannon, when really the spirit, I believe, behind the Justice for Cannon is really certain white people. Perfect opportunity for them to hang over our head. A black man killed a white baby. Look at that. Look at that. Y'all not talking about that. That's not all over CNN. It's not all over Fox. Look at that. Look at that. When that actually adds to the divide and what's going on in our world. Breonna Taylor, that was murdered by cops. That is the hashtag. Thank you, Kelly Dean. That's the hashtag that we should have everywhere because there has been no justice. But within 24 hours of Cannon Hinnant getting killed execution style, the black man was apprehended. He was given no bail, charged with first-degree murder. There is no comparison to how a black man and how a white life or blue life is treated in our justice system. Why is there a hashtag Justice for Cannon? It makes no sense. And the mom said herself, I'm going to seek there's a spirit over here behind this. Because then the mom said, I'm going to seek, and rightfully so, I'm going to seek the death penalty until I get it. And they said, that's right, Justice for Cannon. No. I don't hear that as justice for Cannon. What I hear is hang the nigger. Now, I know they ain't gonna monetize my live now. That's the way I hear. I hear the chants of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Kill the nigger, kill the nigger. When they killed us for stuff we did not do to white people. And this we did, and it was horrendous. I say throw him up under jail. Do whatever you want to him, if you ask me. Although I do think he's mentally ill. He looked like there's something in there ain't right to me. Which I don't understand why people don't pay a darn attention to the signs that, because there had to be some signs. Folk just don't pop up crazy. Crazy get built over a period of time. But that's a whole nother conversation. And maybe I shouldn't use the word crazy, but this is an entertainment platform. So let me say it the way I say it and just laugh at it, understanding my heart is right. So I don't understand. Can somebody please tell me? I don't understand what you're saying. And I don't want to see the beautiful, loving, anti-racist white people that I know. I know you good people. Get taken advantage of because you're not educating yourself. Let's look at the white boy, Philip. Remember him? Some years ago in Houston. His white daddy put a gun to his head, blew his brains out. We didn't see that all over the what's the face. And they were about to let him get this plea and that all, let him get off. How about Aiyana Jones? I think it is. Let me Google. I think it's Aiyana Jones. She was a 7-year-old. She was asleep on the couch. Black little girl. This sleep on the couch. The cops came in there, threw one of them flash things in there, shot her in the neck, killed her, and that cop still walking free today. So don't compare apples and oranges. And you seize this opportunity of a black man killing a white baby and then compare it to Breonna Taylor or George Floyd. No, you can't do that because there has been no justice yet. We still waiting for justice. Cannon has received justice and he's going to get it. I'm from that area. That man is good as dead. If that man lived, If that man live, I'd be surprised. He is good as dead. So that thing, it got up under my skin, and I had to wait after the funeral was over before I talked about it, because that worried me to death. Y'all know Breonna Taylor ain't gotten the Attorney General just met with the family last week. You know, I don't even want to get caught up. I'm gonna start screaming and hollering, but y'all know this mess. And let me tell you this: I'm not gonna say this for every white person you see that posts justice for Cannon. But if you see a white person posting justice for Cannon, you might need to look like that, because you may have just found a racist, most likely or possibly an uneducated person, you know, that's just following the crowd. But that's looking really strange. Let me tell you the conversation that I had with the LRL, because let me say something about white privilege, and I need to put this in the title. And once again, I'm going to say this again. I'm a black man talking to white people. Well, I really think we need more of you guys talking to each other, like this lady right here. Every white person, go get this book, White Fragility, Robin DiAngelo, and watch everything she do. You already know about the Jane woman, but y'all really hate Jane because she really brings it home. Robert P. Jones, I'm about to do an interview with him. White Too Long. It's called The Legacy of White Supremacy in American Christianity. He's the author of The End of White Christian America. So he's basically talking about how white supremacy and American Christianity is basically one and the same. White people, go and get this. These are your leaders. Cheryl Brady and them. We saw them handle that proper. Those are your leaders and the people you need to be listening to get educated. Because some of you have had the privilege of being white and the privilege of a racist system. And some of you even got black children or mixed children or black people in your family or your best friend, and you march with black people and the message that Black life matters is, and not so much the political party that it is, but you believe that black lives have not been mattering as they should, and so now you're shouting, you know, to the powers that be and to our nation to make black lives. This is what the statement means: make black lives mean just as much as white lives in our system economically, as it relates to housing, as it relates to any other privilege that is in this world. Equity and equality, black folk don't have it when you in this skin here, in this nation. It was not built, and not even a great deal of the religion. It was not built with us in mind. The Jesus that most of us have seen an example of was white with blue eyes, ain't look like us. So the conversation I was having with this beautiful, nice LRLer, who is, I know her, in fact, she got black grandchildren or something like that, I do believe she got. But she said, I don't like the term white privilege. I disagree. I don't have a white privilege. And black people are racist too. And so I had to educate her. I took a moment. I said, baby, this ain't a matter of disagreement. Just go look up the word. Just go look up the word. I looked it up and I sent it to her. Let me read it for those of you that are listening, watching me. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Now, I just pulled that just to help explain to her that it is impossible. Let me take this out of my mind. That it is impossible for a black person to be racist. A black person can be prejudiced, and a lot of black people are. I'm gonna tell you, I'm black. A lot of black people. What's this, a chat for? Excuse me, y'all. Oh no, that's one of them cash advance things. The devil is alive. Y'all not getting me to use my credit card. I don't have no credit card that and ain't planning to get none. Okay. Oh, what was I saying? That's in that chick, and it took me in a whole nother mindset. Yeah. So a black person cannot be racist. You cannot call the victim of racism racist when we didn't even create racism. It was white created. and it's the system. The system doesn't favor us. The system doesn't favor us, so we cannot be racist. We are not the superior race. We are not the normal race in this country. We are not the favored or the privileged race in this country. And that's what I had to explain to her, what white privilege is. It means that your skin color receives the privilege, it receives the treatment, it receives the respect that I can never get. And this is what I was explaining to her. And maybe I brought it home to her. Maybe I didn't bring it home to her. But I need every white person that is woke, conscious, educated, and got good sense to teach your nearest white person. Black folk, all we can do is tell them. But it's going to be difficult to hear from us because this is what it sounds like. And Pastor Clint Brown said this, and she said the exact words. She said, when white people hear that we are privileged, we think that we did not work. Everything, and he began to explain how he began to go through his head everything that he had to work for. And that's what she did. My father was a sharecropper, and he had a da. That ain't what white privilege mean. We're not saying you did not work. That's not the thing. Whether you poor or rich, you have white privilege because of your skin. It's just how it is. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Yeah, black people can be biased. We can be bigots. We can be prejudiced. We can discriminate. And you're going to find there are a lot of black people, you have not dealt with the prejudiceness in your heart, the bigotry, the biasness. All of that stuff Jesus will come fix. Do you save black folk? I mean, you got to work on this stuff. A lot of you see white people and you can't stand them. You hate them. You're just angry because of what happened. And every white person did not do you wrong. Now, every white person you know has had privilege, whether they known it or not, and possibly didn't use it in your favor. But some did. Dr. Martin Luther King, some LRLers. There are white LRLers that stand with me financially, behind the scene, that get me the hookup. They know my skin can't get me. They use their skin to get me in. And that's a statement that you need a question you need to ask your white friend. Can you use your skin to get me in, and see what they say? I mean, because that's what it's about. Yes, there's black privilege, and everybody has to use their privilege to bring everybody up above the scratch line. I said, your white privilege is not wrong. I said, but how are you using it? I said, you can't help it. You're white. You were born white. You didn't have no slave. I said, what happened way back then? You didn't do that. You worked for everything you had. You didn't kill no black person or abuse a black person or use a black person present day to get what you got. Now the system did, but you didn't. The racist system did, but you didn't. Free labor from black people that total in the multi-trillions of dollars. In fact, if we got reparations, it would bankrupt our nation. We're not even, well, some of us are asking for reparations. You give us a little payment on it because you really can't give it back to us because the economy of America was built on free labor from black people. Black and browns. We're black. Some browns in there too. So there is no comparison. There's no comparison between Breonna Taylor and Cannon Hinnant. There's no comparison between Cannon Hinnant and George Floyd. There is no comparison. There is none. There isn't. And if you're watching me and you have white skin, you are privileged. And I'm not making you the devil because of it, but you privileged. And you need to know it. And this is what the white lady was saying to me. Very nice white lady. I've helped her. And helped her voice been heard in one of my stories. And she said, if you're marching, I'll be right beside you marching. I said, that's great. I said, you're helping the cause. I said, but if you don't know that you have white privilege, you won't be a help to the cause in the way that you need to be. And you can't be anti-racism. Because in order to be anti-racism, you got to be conscious that white is power and white is superior in our nation now and has been for years. And you have to know it. It's not good enough to be against racism and have black children friends. It's not even enough to use your white skin to privilege your brown or black brother. You have got to come against the system that has us disenfranchised. That's anti-racism. It's not enough to be against racism and speak up for. You have got to be anti. Maybe I'm just gonna stop with this now. I don't think I done said what I need to. Somebody said, run me my money. Also, you should not be addressing white people, but you should be addressing blacks. Also, hold on. Also, I said at the top of the show, also stop looking to the past for reference of the future. You would do nothing but lose yourself for heavens, y'all. That part is not true. You always have to look back when you're talking about projecting to the future. That's measurement. You have to collect and count data in order to project and move forward. You don't disregard the past, all of the past entirely. You have to consider the past. And I said at the top of the show that I'm a black person and that really need a white person to be addressing this. And I held up books as well. People that you can go to and look to to find out what you need to find out. But being that some of my members are white, I have to say something about it. I have to. And then I got some of my members who be looking at me sideways if I ain't said nothing, about it. So that's just how it is. Larry, you got Uncle Ruckus in the chat. I don't know who that is. Let me see what. All right. Let me see what you're saying. Let me see what you're saying. I'm gonna give 10 minutes to go back and forth. Are you dressed, Yvette? You know, I like to have you talking now. You ain't gonna come up here if I ask you to come. Let's see who up here want to talk to me. Can you have a panel with some white people? I've already had that. I had it in Patreon. And you really need to go watch it. The link is still there. It's really good. In fact, because when white people teach racism, you start understanding. You think you know what racism is, black people, but you've been the victim. You was not the creator of it. You hear a woke white person talk about racism, you be like, dog. Y'all did that? Oh, that was set up like that? The whole thing was built like that? But I thought they were my friend. Let me tell you something. If you want to see a war, you get two white people on two opposing sides. Because this is what I was trying to tell her. She's talking about how mean, how some of y'all in the comments be sometimes towards white people. I said, well, they're angry. I said, and they're prejudiced. I said, and yes, they are wrong. They have turned into their oppressors. I said they've turned into their oppressors so much so that now they are killing each other. The crime you see amongst black people and the murder ain't nothing to be compared to the murder and that spirit of murder and killing and getting over on each other that's in the white community. And this is how come we got to pray for people like this, Robin DiAngelo, and what's that other woman, Robert P. Jones, because they're speaking out and revealing something. Do you know what you do not want? It was the white man that took a whole country from the Native Americans. Do you not understand that is a force? That's why I celebrate the white people who stand with us, because they realize y'all can be talking about end of racism and do all this marching and all you want to, but we already know this system. And if y'all don't have us with y'all, it ain't going nowhere. And that's just what the truth is. That's what the truth is. It's what the truth is. It was a system they created. The founder of, I'm thinking about the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, who was really into euthygenics. I think that's how you say it. Euthetics, you may say it like that. How, the whole abortion thing. And this is way back in the 1920s or 30s when she basically said, we're trying to get rid of the Negroes and we're going to do it through abortion. Yeah. Now, of course, they've changed it. They took her name off of the Planned Parenthood and stuff and changed. But the reality is you got Tuskegee, all this different kind of stuff that's happened, try to exterminate Black people. Like Hitler, Stalin, them did the Jews. So it's been a lot in this country. And I am excited that we have white allies, because in order for things to change, and listen, there are a lot of white allies, a whole lot of white allies. For them Black Lives Matter marches at them more than it is us in some parts of the country, because this next generation, like my daughters now, they're white constituents, and even some of them that I've seen here, they ain't about, even in this neighborhood, it is fucking these $1 million houses, and they got these white kids. But these white kids, when they're coming out of their house, you hear them bopping the hip hop music, and they Black friends that done came over. They all smoking weed. They all one community. See, we really at the last bit of this spirit of racism. Let me prophesy. We really at the last bit of killing this thing. We got some more years on it. Maybe 20, maybe. But it's been eradicated. And this next generation it's almost like they don't even just have it in them. It seems like they're just so far removed from it. Let me see. It says, sorry, those people in Black Lives Matter are not allies. We already know the anarchists that are in it. But the majority of the white people that are out there saying Black Lives Matter are not anarchists. They're not. They weren't in Atlanta and the other cities that I surveyed. Those white people were there to use their white skin to get our voice in, to get our voice heard, to get our cause heard. The anarchists and all these other disruptors, they were not as many as the people who were there for a cause. They weren't. Somebody say, I see and we are in the process of a good 20 years. That's what I say. That's my projection. The end is near. It's the end is here. All of this that has happened. You cannot have a change of all things and there not be chaos. The chaos is part of it's one of the kicks of the belly, one of the kicks of the baby from the belly, the baby of change. That chaos, disruption, exposure. Because a lot of us find like, oh my God, I thought America was farther than this. Well, that's the reason why it didn't got as far as it could have got, because that was still in there. And so now it's been exposed, and it's a great thing. And I don't think that it could have been done under any other presidency except Trump. Trump has been used, however way you want to put it, I'm going to say used or allowed by God to expose what was here that we thought was not here. And maybe he'll stay in seat to keep the exposure going so that we can have a full change of all things. Who knows? The movement was co-opted. Yeah, we talked about that here on the show probably 2 months ago, that it was being hijacked. Yeah. Let me see. I would have brought some of y'all in, but y'all be so scared to come in, and I'm on this new StreamYard thing. I will let you come on in. I've seen the link in Facebook and let you come on in. But I think I've said what I wanted to say. Share this, hit like, continue the conversation. Ask your nearest white friend, say, can you use your skin to get me in? And however that may be, whatever it may be. Yes, chaos is a clear indication of change that is coming. And I really need for us Black people to expect it and not being so negative as it relates to the future and what it looked like. We got to have some kind of positivity as relates to the future. And we got to unite. And we're going to have some of the hard conversations. Like I told the white lady, I told her, I said, yeah, some of us are taking on the spirit of the oppressor and we're killing each other. That is a conversation that we need to have. We already know systemically how certain things happen. Okay. But you have to take responsibility for your actions. And I don't need any more. Oh, Yvette is ready for conversation? Okay, good. Okay, let me create the link. I'm have this conversation with her. I'm sending this in your inbox, Yvette. YVETT. Okay, Yvette, I'm about to inbox you the link. You just hit it and you should be able to come right in. Okay, that link, you should be able to come on in, baby. Okay, this is gonna be good. I want to see what you got to say. I would tell you of what the true racism is. Okay, tell us. I'm looking in the chat. Those of you on YouTube and Facebook, hit like and please share. Please hit like and share. I've never thought racism, white supremacy wasn't here. I live on Earth in America. It's been here all my life. We know so a lot of us, some of us haven't feel as though we haven't experienced it. Okay. Hey. Yeah, that let her rip. I know you got something to say.
Let me tell you something. People are gonna remove. Can you hear me? Can you?
I can't hear you. Can you turn your mic on?
Hold on.
Oh, I had my thing muted. Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Great. When I tell you I am so over people, especially, I have to say this because religious folks, we ought to be ashamed of. You know what? I'm not going to put everybody in the same basket. Christian folks, some of you need to be ashamed of yourself, especially when you are a Caucasian leader and you have gotten up and you have confirmed that there is racism in your church and that there's something that you need to be saying about it. And then you acquiesce from saying anything. You stop saying anything about it. But as soon as this little white boy is murdered, tragically murdered, you post it all over your page and saying, why doesn't this life matter? And you're politicizing it to abdicate responsibility for addressing the real big elephant in the room, which is racism against the Black and brown people that are sitting in your pews, and you're taking their green dollars. You're using their time, their skills, their talent, but you won't promote them in your churches. They're not good for anything but for the money and the time that they put into making you look good and your church grow. It's time out for that. I think it's awful what happened to this boy, but it's obvious when you look at this guy, there's a mental problem, and from what I heard, he may have been on meth or some type of drug, and the devil told him to kill the boy. But as you said, justice is being served. But what about Breonna Taylor? What about George Floyd? Why are we still? What about Aubrey?
Yeah.
Why does it take 50 years for justice to be served before people will actually realize, it really is a problem? And I think someone said chaos is an indication that change is coming. It is coming, and these are the birthing pains. But I'll be doggone, We don't need anesthetic for this. We need to feel pain until we finish the change.
Yeah. And this is the thing. It really, and it's an indicator also. It's really how certain white people handle this justice for canon thing really reveals that there's something that is going on in them as relates to the change. They're resistant to it because they feel like they have to stand up for their whiteness and don't understand that their whiteness has been speaking and running the world for years. So there's so much that reveals and shows me, and they are getting a justice that we would love to have. And if they had not locked this black man and gave them justice, then he will be added to the list of the names that got us protesting, got us marching, got us doing what we're doing on our lives and our posts. He will become one of the hashtags for justice for Cannon. But y'all have created a falsity. He already have received justice. What in the whole hell of heaven are you talking about?
Correct. I'm hearing, is my connection bad? I'm going to go outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm making out what you're saying, but the connection is bad.
Let me just step outside in the heat and see if I get better. Is the connection any better?
Yeah, I'm hearing you better.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's awful. I can't stand it. It makes me very angry, and it's a righteous indignation. It's not a rage. It's not a wrathful thing. But I'm very angry because the very thing that needs to be addressed is continuing to be pushed under the carpet. And I don't understand how much more pain they think that our race should be experiencing, before they actually say we need to just go ahead, buckle down and make this thing right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm on StreamYard. I don't usually use this unless I'm trying to talk from my room to both platforms, but I did text at least 5,000 of you and told you that I was about to do this. And I know they haven't made it to where the YouTubers can be brought into the conversation. I think only the Facebookers can, but maybe they'll fix that in a little bit. So I just knew that it bothered me so bad because I saw some good white folk, we're talking in our community, the good white people.
Right.
And I saw them sharing, I'm like, have they read the story and found out that justice has been a whole sentence and no bond? Have they not seen that justice have been served? And then he going to court right early. I think it's this week, the 25th. So I had to say something because I didn't want to see some white people taken advantage of and be used in what I believe is sort of the answer back to all lives matter. It's sort of like the same thing, the all lives matter thing.
Yeah, I still see that the underbelly of that thing is they don't want to address Black lives. They want to justify, here's someone that was white that was killed, so all lives matter, and let's just get rid of the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
Yeah,
when clearly there's not equity there yet.
No, and this is how come Black Lives Matter has to be chanted. Now, I want to be clear, and I've always been clear, that the movement, the political organization, I have my own personal. You don't have to have them. My own personal issues with some of the things out there on their site. I'm like, I ain't with that. But the message, Black Lives,
individual Black lives. That's right.
And hold on and be clear. I'm talking about the Black lives that are trans, gay, straight, any Black life. I'm all Black lives. Right. I want to be clear on that. But there's some other things that I saw that was written in there. I'm like, no, I don't know about that one. I don't like that one too much. So when it comes to the chant, we all need to be saying it. And I've seen a lot of people saying it. But this right here, we got to call this out, that this is a masquerade. It's racism masked. This hashtag justice for cat. It is a spirit that is in some white person or persons that's resistant to the change of or the balance of power. to the balance
Yeah.
of the bug.
Yes, the June bug. If you see me screaming and hollering, I drop my phone. You know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, so that and the reality is that there are some white people that are resisting the balancing of the power.
Mm-hmm. They
Yeah,
are, sadly.
yeah.
Yep. And I've had to recently just start cutting folks out. I'm like, I don't even want to see any of your threads, any of your posts, because the one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let you own me. And anytime I get an emotional rise from something you say or do, that means you own a piece of me. And I
Mm.
can't afford for you to own any part of me. So I'm just cutting people off, and I'm fine with it, because it's about me being whole emotionally. And it's like, we'll just agree to disagree, and I'll see you in heaven. Or maybe I'll be looking down at you in hell, because I'm not going to hell over
I
folk.
I like what you said, and this is the reason why and so you guys are really getting a sort of a taste of our Patreon that's just for us exclusively. I like what you're saying. So whenever Black people, listen to me, whenever you allow a white person to get a rise out of you, that means a part of you is still a slave. You're still owned, and you're still holding on to some energy or something, or you're entertaining it in a way to where it has power over you. So you may need to bring separation to begin to work that out, because that's what I did to a few of my white Facebook friends. I just muted them, and every time they expire, I mute them again, because, and now I would unfriend, but some of them I know, and I think they just need time to get a book. And here's the book, White Fragility.
Right. Well, you know what I've discovered, Larry?
Mm-hmm.
What I've discovered is that we actually weren't friends. It was friends as far as the word itself is on paper and what it looks like and how it feels when you say it. But when the rubber met the road, I realized we weren't even associates. We were acquaintances, because you really don't know me. So there has been, like, 2020 has been a year of vision and sight, and I have seen and discovered so much about people. And oddly enough, I'm not hurt by it. I'm woke. I'm woke at a whole other level now. And it's like, some things I'm going to hear what you're saying, I'm discerning what you're saying, and I'm knowing if I'm to keep you or cut you. And when I cut you, I'm cutting you off. Less weight. I've learned to wear people, situations, organizations, churches as loose garments. So when it's time for me to step away, I can step all the way out and be light when I leave.
Yeah, and that's important. I mean, it's important. You have to do what works for you,
Yeah.
and whatever's insulting your dignity, you have to get rid. And Black dignity is been insulted, and for so many years, and as a result, we have to right now be pro-Black. You gave us our February. You've given us a couple of networks, although you still own them. You've given us a few movies. You know, we have our own Black movies now on Netflix and Hulu now. And that's all great, and it is wonderful. Statues are coming down, praise the Lord. But what we need, we need equality. We need equity. And have to allow us to be pro-Black, because we've lived in your world for years. We never saw a representation of ourselves, not even in our faith. So you have to give us and white people, remember, and Black people, I hope that you center yourself on this truth, that being pro-Black is not being anti-white.
It certainly is not. It means we're embracing our culture and who we are without having to feel like we need to become something else to be accepted. I refuse to. I like all this chocolate goodness. If you don't like it, tough titty. That's not my problem.
Tough titty, I heard that in years.
A real tough one.
We've had to appropriate in order to get the job, in order to walk fast with our butt tight and our lips tucked to be skinny like y'all's, so that we can be in certain circles and relax our hair and put contacts on our eyes to make it lighter, so that we may be able to do be in the circle and have every black person knows about the white voice, then you have to do it over the phone so they don't know that you're black. So they will give you an opportunity to show what you're good at, so they can see your contribution to the world and to America. So and white people have never had to deal with the reality of what color they are. Their color has been the norm. It has been mainstream, and it has been what everything is judged by. So in this climate, I'm watching white people struggle with the idea that they have white skin that is privileged. Like, no, I don't even see color. No, you never saw your color.
I told a friend of mine who happens to be white. They're like, I don't see color. I said, you should go get your eyes checked. It's not the point of you not seeing color. It's the point is to see color, but not judge a person based upon their color. Like, you don't treat them different because they're different from you. Embrace the differences. Embrace God. Could you imagine if all the people in this world were black? This would be a boring world. The same way it would be if it were all white. So God created the beauty of the rainbow to give us a representation, if that's the expectation he had when he created humankind. That's why he created us in different colors and sizes and shades and tones of chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
And if you have to type in there as a result of what Yvette said, that's why I always bring her on, because she give nuggets, don't even realize she's doing it. Type in diversity is divine. And this is the thing that I don't think that all of us in all of the compartments that we are in the human experience, I think we all could do a little bit more work as it relates to embracing diversity. And what I realized by doing this job is I got closer to God and to the revelation of all that God is by dealing with so many different people. Because I need to understand that, wait a minute, God made you, and he made you, and he made you. And in your religion, I can see God. This is me. I see Jesus in Buddhism. I see Jesus in, what is that? Is that Islam? But this right here that you're teaching, this is the teaching of Jesus Christ. Oh, I see it in the word. Yeah, I see Jesus in Judaism. I see a little Jesus in Christianity even. So and so diversity, if we can sit with what we maybe don't even practice and maybe not even believe, but able to sit with it and connect the dots in the similarities and learn how to do it together, I think that we will become more divine. That's why I want everybody to type diversity as divine. And I think that it's something that we all need to do some work on.
Agreed. 110%.
Yeah, that nugget was courtesy of Yvette. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I just had to get this out my head.
I'm glad you did, because it was in all of our heads and it needed to be addressed.
It was bothering me. I said, justice for Canada. I said, what are y'all doing? What is this? I said, why ain't nobody talking about this? No, I ain't seen no black person on their page or white person to call this spirit out. It's false. He is giving justice. Is it? Do you want him to hang, the black man to hang, or do you want him dead? Is that in there? And I think some of that is in there. Because justice has been served. You want him to be shot in the head? I get it. I mean, that mean my baby, hang him, shoot him in the head, do whatever you want to do, run over him, chop him up in pieces, liquefy him. He killed my baby. So I get that, but I can't help but see and feel and sense these same preachers, pastors who were mute as relates to Breonna, as relates.
They want us to be over it already. Don't talk about it anymore. It's old. No, it's not old. It's not old until there's justice. Sorry.
Yeah. Now justice that.
Right.
Not Canon Hinnant. He had justice, and they got an extra $1 million sitting to GoFundMe from all the racist people.
Right.
I know some of us probably gave just because we just can't imagine the pain that the mama is feeling.
Well, I feel for the mom too, but I didn't give. Sorry, I didn't. If I'm going to give, I'm going to give to help Breonna and all the other people that haven't gotten justice that are brown skinned. I'm going to help them get justice.
Yeah, I understand that.
Mm.
I get it. I totally get it. All right. I want to invite each and every one of you. If you did not go to church today, there's about 40-minute phone call that is up on the Reformation prayer call. You need to take your hips over there before you go to sleep tonight and just listen to the prayer call, because we're still talking about we're in a time where heaven is telling us to measure ourselves. And listen,
Wow.
that thing, when the Spirit began to talk about the plumb line and the measuring reed that is in Ezekiel that the prophet saw when it was time to build the third temple, that thing took us up today.
Wow.
And so go over there and participate in the group prayer and the group giving. There was so much power exchange in that. So we talked a little bit on it, and then we prayed, and then we gave together. It was powerful. So go on, take your hips on over there. I put the somebody in here can put the playback number and the code. Make sure you listen to that tonight, because it's going to do you and your family some good.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for coming on chatting with me. I'm gonna
Thanks
let
for having me. I love coming on to have a little conversation.
you confident say absolutely. Okay,
Absolutely.
see y'all tomorrow night.
All righty.